Hi guys, welcome to this Intro to Excel session 1. In this session we're going to look at basic formulas, basic functions and some basic formatting. First of all, I'm going to click into cell B2 and type MON, short for Monday. I'm going to move my mouse into the bottom right hand corner and get a small black cross, and then I'm going to click and drag to column F, which will automatically put the days of the week in. Now Excel knows things like, if I type week 1 and get a small black cross and pull it down, it's going to do the weeks for me. If I type any word with a number after it, it's going to do the sequence. Excel already knows things like quarter 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It knows the months. I type the months in and so on. And I can go forward from anywhere within the list and it will just pick up the sequence from there, either forward, backwards, left or right. Now you can also add your own list in Excel, so I've added a list. This is the list: car tax, gas, water, food and electric, something that I use all the time. Now to add the list the first time, you would need to type it out and then select it. Then you go to the File tab and into Options, and then onto the Advanced option, and then scroll right down to the very bottom, and Edit Custom Lists is what you want. And then I've already got this in here, but basically you would click Import and then it would be part of this list. I'm just going to click OK to all of that. This list is available in any Excel spreadsheet, not just this one. So now I'm going to type total, average, max and min, because those are the functions that I'm going to use. And then total over this side, and let's give it a title, call it weekly budget. And I'm going to merge and center that. So I've highlighted across the area that I want to center and merge, and then I'm clicking merge and center. I'm then going to highlight with this white cross. So the white cross is what you use to select things, like that. The little black cross is what you use to pull things, and the larger black cross is what you use to move things. Now hopefully we're not going to use the black cross during this session, but there may be times when you want to do that. But for now I want to highlight this table because I want to use the borders to put the grid lines on, because these lines do not print off. I also want to colour in the area where I'm going to type. Now let's type some figures. So I'm going to type 10. Let's say we spend £10 every day on our car. I can just pull that across and it goes 10, 10, 10 all the way across. Next one down, I'm going to say we spend £5 on Monday, and it goes up by £5 every day, so 5 and then 10. I need to highlight that, so that's called a step value. And then I'm going to get the small black cross again and pull it over, and you notice it steps by 5. So I'll do that again for gas, 1 and 7, highlight the 2, pull it across. So that's picked up the step. Now everything else is going to be 10, so I'm just going to pull that down, let go, and then pick this up as a block or a group and pull it across to the right. So I've got 10, 10, 10, 10. So this whole process is about getting information onto a spreadsheet quickly without repeating yourself or manually typing it in over and over again. Now I want all of this yellow area to be formatted to pounds, so I'm going to click on the pile of coins, pounds. Now I just want to quickly talk about dates. I'm going to do a key command for today's date, which is control and semicolon. That will put today's date in that cell. And I'm just going to pull that down. And you'll notice when you pull the date down that you don't need to do the step value. However, if you did want to do a step value, let's say I wanted that to be the 16th, tick, I've got a step there. So I highlight those two in the same way and pull them down, and I get the step. I'm going to make that yellow for a second, and I'm going to delete those dates. Now when you delete data in Excel, you do not delete the format. The format is still saying date at the top. So if I was to type a figure in there, it automatically remembers that it was a date, so it's changed it to a date. That can be quite off-putting sometimes, so don't worry, you just need to go and put it back to general or whatever format you want from this list. Or if it's just a quick money option, you can just click on this button, or percent that button. Now in Excel, if I just do that list there, just 1, 2, I'm going to put that all to general. Just do the step again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I put those to date, you can see it goes 1st, 2nd, 3rd and so on of January 1900. Excel started counting from the 1st of January 1900. So number 1 equates to the 1st of January. Today's date, if I do a date again, control semicolon, if I put that to a number, or back to general, it's got to 43,533. And every other date will be added onto that, and that's how you can use formulas with dates, because as far as a computer is concerned, they are just numbers. Just going to get rid of that, and I'm going to delete the whole column by clicking the H in this case, and then right click, delete. That just clear that back, so it's all general. And now I want to come over to this cell. I'm going to colour this cell yellow and do some basic sums here. When you do formulas yourself in Excel, you need to start with the equal sign, and then, although you can type, I feel it's better to click on the cell that you want. So we'll do a plus first, so B3 plus C3, check the formula, click the tick. So basically you're saying there, whatever goes in B3 plus whatever goes in C3 forever. So if I type 20 there, this just picks that up. Next one equals B3 divided by, which is a / C3, check it at the top, click the tick, £2. Next one equals B3 times is the asterisk symbol, C3, check it at the top, click the tick. And last one equals B3 minus B4, check it at the top, tick, £10. That's how you do basic sums in Excel. Now to add a list up, I could go equals B3, B4, B5 all the way down, and it would give me the correct answer, but that's not the best practice because there is a limit in the number of pluses you can have in a sum. So to get around that, Excel has created functions, and the functions to add up a list is the AutoSum function, which is on the Home tab over on the right. It's also on the Formulas tab over there. So I'm going to click on AutoSum. The computer grabs the list that it thinks I want to add up, and in this case it is correct. Sum B3 to B8, B3 to B8, including everything in between. That's what I want. I click the tick. 56 is correct. I don't have to do that again because Excel is intuitive enough to know if I pull that across that I want to add up column C, column D, and so on. Now I'm going to do that again for the rows. Sum left, B3 to F3, that's correct. Pull that down. And that's 350 is the total on the week. Now I'm going to quickly make this go wrong because most often people can work Excel quite easily as long as everything goes okay, but when there's a mistake, how do you fix it? So I'm just going to right click on number 6, the row number 6, to insert a row. So I've now got a blank row. When I do the AutoSum feature now, watch what happens. It only jumps up to the first gap that it sees. There are two ways of fixing this. If you can see it, you can just highlight across it. But if this was a bigger table, say 10,000 rows, you would have to come up to the top on the formula bar and change the figure there to make sure it's correct. You can do it in the cell as well, but for now I'm just going to highlight over that gap, and then check that and then tick, and then I will pick that up. But hopefully you don't have to do that because you've pre-planned your spreadsheet. Just going to delete that one off. And now we're going to look at these three: average, max, min functions. And they are very common, and because of that they are on the drop down arrow next to the auto sum button. So I'm going to click average. Now it's grabbed everything including the total. I don't want that, so I'm going to intervene and just highlight the yellow area. That's why I've got it coloured yellow. B3 to B8, clicking tick. I can pull that across in the same way that I did the auto sum. Now max is going to do the same. Max highlights everything. I'm going to intervene again and check that, B3 to B8. Now this is not the only way to do this, and loads of people self-taught to do it slightly different. It's not wrong as long as the answer is correct and as long as you are checking. I tend to do it this way because I think it's the safest way for beginners and less likely for you to make a mistake if you are constantly selecting the list after you've got the function on the screen, not before. I'll pull that one across, and that's all of those done. Now if I change this figure again, all of these, or most of these, the minimum won't move, but most of these will change to reflect that. And that's how you do basic formulas. Now I'm going to do another example. I'm going to type week 1 and use my little black cross to pull it over to week 5, and then type total. And then I'm going to do income, expense, balance. I'm going to put the borders on. Now on my machine I like to add the borders up to the quick access toolbar, which I've already done, but I will click it here for now. And then I want to colour this in yellow in the same way as I did before, and then I've got to do a little formula. Pull that over. Now when I do the sum, I want to add up this row. When I do the sum, watch what the computer does. It's going to jump up the screen and grab the only figures it can see, which sometimes is a bit off-putting, but it doesn't matter. You tell the computer what to look at. So it's B16 to F16. Tick that one and pull that down. Highlight the whole table. Format to pounds. And then the last one I'm going to come down a little bit. And I'll start in B20 with Steve and Anne. Type Monday. Pull that down to Sunday. Wednesday looks like it's overlapping. I just need to widen the column by double clicking the dividing line between the two columns. It will do auto fit for me. Then I'm doing total, rate, and gross pay and net pay. I'm going to format the table in exactly the same way as above, with my borders on my little yellow area. And this is going to be hours worked. I'm not going to do it in time, I'm just going to do it in decimals, but basically I want to add up each of these lists, so I'm going to use auto sum. Now the computer's jumped up the screen again to see this formula. I don't want that, so I'm just going to highlight B21 to B27, click the tick, pull that across for Anne. I'm just going to give Steve 10 hours there just to check that works. Yes, it does. Now I'm going to say that both of these people are on 11.25 per hour. I'm going to put that one back to 10 actually, so I can just double check the formulas are correct. That's something I do quite often, is change things back to 10s and 5s or 50 and 100. Now I want to know how many hours is done and what is made, so that should be 10 times 10, so that's going to be 100. So the formula would be equals B28 times B29. Tick that formula, get the 100. I know that's correct. Pull it across. Now I just want to take 30% tax off that, so if I go equals that times 0.7, 0.7, 70 is correct, then I can pull that across. And if I put that back to 1125, 7875 is the answer now. Probably wouldn't have got that in my head if I'd have tried to work it out, but this is now ready to go. You can start adding hours for both of these people and it will add them up at the bottom. And that's basically the end of module 1.